Welcome Pisces to your in-depth monthly forecast for November 2025. I'm going to share with you some of the big themes of the month ahead to begin with, then on screen your event chart. So right at the start of November, where the planets are can be very influential for the whole month. I'll then go through each of the key influences in detail to give you a clear picture of what to look forward to, which you can relate to in terms of your ascendant, sun or the moon. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I have found, however, that over 50% of people who regularly watch my videos are not subscribers. If that's you, please help the channel to continue to thrive and sub now, but also click or tap that bell notification symbol. My year 2026 deep dive forecast for Pisces is live. Please check out and get the inside track on what the new year, which is fast approaching, holds in store for you by clicking on the link beneath this video. Your two ruling planets are Jupiter traditional and Neptune modern, and they are really in the heart of the action this month, not least because they're collaborating with one another for the whole of November. Jupiter currently is located in Cancer, where he is exalted. But traditionally your ruler, Jupiter, is very much about getting in touch with our soul purpose, because your sign, like Cancer, is emotional, it's about our feelings, it's about our intuition. So Jupiter, however, has been challenged by the steady eddy of the zodiac, Saturn, back in your sign since the 1st of September, and particularly over the last couple of years, first because Saturn's been perhaps having an impact on your personal vitality, but over the last year and a half because Saturn has been blocking off Jupiter's more Sagittarius energy of optimism, growth and good fortune. Saturn is known as the greater malefic, Jupiter the greater benefit. However, this month, and in fact towards the end of October, they've actually started to get on really well. But Neptune's in the mix as well. So Neptune and Saturn are very close together as we start this month. Jupiter links brilliantly in a water trine to them, but they all link back to Mars in the most expansive, dynamic, exciting and adventurous part of your situation. So what we've got is first house energy with Saturn and Neptune, fifth house energy where we showcase our passion, enthusiasm and joy, Jupiter, and Mars in the part of our charts which really gives us the confidence to be very much on the front foot and push outwards. Saturn provides an anchor, Neptune imagination, Jupiter provides faith and Mars provides the thrust. Fantastic as you come into this month. But the fact that Saturn and Jupiter are on good terms, even though Jupiter does go retrograde on the 11th, Saturn ends its 5 months retrograde on the 28th, and even though Neptune is in retrograde, what we have got is a great collaboration between them at the start of the month, but there's also more to come at the end too, and I'll share that with you shortly. So just before I share your chart on the screen at the start of the month, if you've yet to order your unique personal forecast for year 2026, you can do so now and get the rest of this year free. You'll also get your life roadmap reports, which gives searing insights into the patterns that are played out in your life journey so far and how you can use a greater knowledge of that to steer your future moves along with those forecast transits. And you'll get your free gift of your general love and Chinese and Indian written forecasts for the year ahead, but the overall package is 30% off. Please see below for more. So on the screen now, Pisces, you can see the moon is in your sign. Of course, the North Node until the end of July 26, when the true North Node inverts into Aquarius. And for sure, having Saturn and Neptune together in the first house isn't necessarily brilliant for vitality, but I think they're lifted, they're animated by the energy of Jupiter and also Mars. And you can see Mars is really near the top of your chart, so pushing you really to be more dynamic. And as this month goes on, in fact, as early as the 4th, there is an opportunity for you to show a lot of conviction, authority and self-confidence, but particularly around your work. But let's consider the position of the Sun. It's in your sister water sign of Scorpio, and like Mars, it's asking you in some ways to be more outgoing, to expand. So if you're traveling anywhere this month, I think it can be really exciting for you. I know that Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th, and that can be a pain around ticketing, flights, trains, ferries, usually due to not just technological failure, often to do with industrial action. It's so metronomic, it's unbelievable. Do you recall many years ago when we had the volcanic ash thing in Iceland, and that closed down flights all over the place? Well, that was with Mercury retrograde, believe it or not. And of course Jupiter, which can also be to do with travel, that's going retrograde. But I must stress that Jupiter retrograde in the 5th house probably isn't on the whole wonderful for being more speculative with resources, taking risks, or perhaps it could point towards being a bit more cautious around romance. But because of the support of Saturn and Mars initially, and your other ruler Neptune, and then later in the month the mystery planet, which I'm going to reveal with you shortly, I feel that you can actually do things that give you a sense of drama, that help you to have some spontaneous moments. Because I think, life can be very tough for a lot of people these days. Even if we just watch something different on the telly, we eat something different, we go to a different venue to watch a play or a film, it just stimulates our senses. And I think that's the type of experiences that can call out to you throughout this month. But the 4th does see Mars move to join Mercury in your 10th house. But right at the start of this month, Mercury is opposed by Uranus, so Mars joins in with that, and that creates quite a lot of electricity. An opportunity professionally may need you to make a snap decision which might feel a bit uncomfortable. Mars then pushes you even more to have the confidence to go for it if an opportunity does come up. And that could be to do with your work, to be honest. But then on the 5th we have a full moon. Moon that's been in Taurus exalted. For you it's how you think, your quick everyday communications. But the moon and the 3rd house isn't always a great mix, because the moon needs to be how we feel, not how we think. So just be aware of that. But what helps this particular full moon is the North Node, the point of destiny in your sign. So that's just encouraging you to stay in touch with your personal ideas and individual way of doing things in the way you communicate your ideas. So I think that softens the 3rd house sort of chatty stuff, which can seem a bit superficial. The 6th, however, sees Venus move into your sister water sign of Scorpio. Venus in the 9th house, I think, can be very much a truth seeker, but it could also see you over the next weeks through to the 30th, when it moves to the top of your chart. It could see you encountering someone who comes from a completely different background to you. Now, if you're into internet dating and someone comes across your screen, you think, oh, they look interesting, but not really my type, you might actually be surprised who you could connect with. But equally, because Venus clashes with Pluto in an existing relationship, if someone's not being fully open and truly transparent, some information could come up which could be quite telling, because Venus in the 9th house, but particularly in Scorpio, where it is of course in its detriment, I feel it's not, it is about desire, but it's got to be desire for you in a way which is really meaningful. And if there's something that's just niggling you, whether someone is upfront or not, you'll tease it out with the help of that. Uranus inverts back into your 3rd house on the 8th. There's probably been lots of times over the last 7 years you probably gained huge skills around technology. You may have launched a business. You may have connected with your local community in lots of various different ways. You may have done some very frenetic exercise. You may have found yourself either becoming really into technology or really off technology, because Uranus can be about freeing ourselves. You may have had a disconnection from a sibling, but you may have found yourself forging spontaneous connections with other people that you weren't expecting. There can be more of this through to the end of April. But I feel that perhaps one of the downsides of Uranus being in the third house, you may have felt a bit at times like your nervous system was rather overloaded. And that adrenal stress is something that I think is very common these days. So just be conscious of that. But Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th in that worldly connection. If you have applied for a job, you're trying to connect with someone, could go through some frustration for the next 10 days, but you can also realign your purpose, modify your applications, have different applications for different opportunities. Jupiter truly does go retrograde on the 11th, as I mentioned before, and it just says for 4 months through to March the 11th, which of course is still Pisces season. Yeah, you might not, you shouldn't really be over optimistic about speculation and be realistic about romance. But it doesn't mean to say that everything's going to go wrong by any means. The 12th, however, can see you have a discussion with someone and they may be really impressed by how you come across. They can tell that there's a confidence there, which is really something that can impress and they can admire. The 19th sees Mercury invert back into Scorpio. If there is a travel plan that you do need to conduct through to the 29th, really check, even double or treble check the arrangements to make sure the details are right. The 20th, however, is a stunning new moon. It's fantastic, linking with both your rulers, but also Saturn. I really like this because Venus is in the mix as well. Your desire to be bold and be a truth seeker and branch out, but branch out in a steady, progressive way with Saturn's help, can really come back to you with that new moon. But you may, if you're fancying a change, it could be around your work, which can be showcased by the Sun climbing to the top of your chart, followed by Venus on the 30th, Sun 22nd, and they're both linking to Pluto. Past skills, knowledge and experience can be redeployed in a new environment. Don't feel you can only do what you're doing now in exactly the same way, as long as you're up for a flex, which you often are. Saturn goes direct on the 28th. You're really going to appreciate that. Saturn's coming out of your sign, remember, by the 14th of February. I know you'll be cheering when it does, but then remember it goes into your second house of everyday money. Saturn never stops challenging us, but I think that's helpful. Mercury direct 29th, lovely. Have been waiting for news on a contract, some legal paperwork, a decision on something, you'll get it then. And the 30th Venus topping up the part of your chart to do with your worldly interactions. Charm will get you everywhere, Pisces. And of course, Venus is a planet you have an appreciation for. She's exalted in your sign. So, to summarise, I think good things are possible for you this month because of Neptune and Jupiter, your rulers, featuring so brightly. Saturn, which has been a blight to Jupiter over the last year and a half, is more now of a support. Yes, you do need to align your energy appropriately, not spread yourself too thin. There is potentially going to be a few delays, misunderstandings. Charm will get you everywhere. Being open to new people and new experiences is very smart. And as the month goes on, your chance to raise your profile and seize a big opportunity is definitely enhanced. I hope you have a great November. Please check out your year 2026 forecast by clicking on the link below. Take care, good luck and goodbye.